Content warning. The following video contains material that may be harmful or traumatizing to some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Welcome to the hit list. You can't escape your face on the news. Don't mess with fate. Locked up in prison, wood chipper running hot. Police on a mission, hope you don't get caught. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the lies. Lies and deception, caught in the storm. Future in question, nowhere left to run. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the light. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, this price to pay. Lies and deception, caught in the storm. Future in question, nowhere left to run. Silver bracelets tight, get arrested tonight. In this endless fight, can't hide from the light. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, this price to pay. Oh yeah, no, no, yeah, yeah, yeah. The choices you made, heading one way. No turning back, this price to pay. Oh. Whoa, yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Burlington police say they've arrested a man for sex crimes involving a 16-year-old girl. Andrew Diana faces multiple charges, including sexual exploitation of a minor and secret peeping. Investigators say he recorded a sexual encounter with the girl. He is now in jail without bond.
Well, starting off our headlines this afternoon, a central Louisiana man is facing charges of distributing child sex materials. Authorities arrested Liam Norris Wilcox of Boyce yesterday. The Louisiana Attorney General's office says he's charged with 2 felony counts. We're told the victim in this case is under the age of 13. The suspect was booked into the Rapides Parish Detention Center.
A Bay City man faces federal charges after investigators say he created and distributed sexual abuse material involving his own 3-year-old son. Zeke A.J. Smith was arrested following an investigation by the Northeast Michigan Child Exploitation and Human Trafficking Task Force. A federal affidavit states Smith is charged with sexual exploitation of children, distribution of child pornography, and possession of child pornography involving a minor. The investigation began when Bay City's Department of Public Safety officers interviewed Smith about allegations his young son may have been sexually assaulted while in his care. During that interview, Smith admitted to recording videos of himself doing sexual acts in front of his son and sending them to another man. Smith also told investigators he had been selling nude images and videos of himself to the same man for about a year to make extra money. Smith has been arraigned and will remain in custody while his case works its way through federal court.
To a crime alert, police have arrested an Arkansas man for sexual exploitation against a child. After a multi-agency investigation, West Memphis authorities took Taylor Lewis into custody in Marion yesterday after executing a search warrant. He's facing several charges, including distributing, possession, or viewing sexual material involving children. Police say this is an ongoing investigation.
Lisa, thanks. Late breaking out of Tuscaloosa, where 2 people have been arrested after a child was sexually abused, according to police.
Yeah, one of the people arrested is an adoptive father. Michael Higdon has the details from the Breaking News desk.
Well, Tuscaloosa police say in the last week they started an investigation into a report that a child was being sexually abused by an adoptive father. Now, the age of that child has not been released, but during the investigation, reports were confirmed, and Philip Watts is being charged with rape, sexual abuse, sodomy, tampering with physical evidence, and incest. The investigation also found his wife, Katie Watts, knew about the abuse and did not report the crimes. She's employed as a daycare worker during the time of the abuse and is required to report it. So she's being charged with endangering a child in violation of that mandatory reporting law. Both have been arrested. Philip was given no bond. Katie was given a $1,200 bond. Police say that investigation is ongoing and more charges are possible as that investigation continues. If you believe or know you believe that you could possibly be a victim, you're asked to reach out to Tuscaloosa police.
A former Akron teacher took a plea today, admitting his guilt in the sexual abuse of 2 teenage students.
Annabelle Childers explains what happened in the courtroom and how long he could be behind bars.
Okay, we're going to go on the record on State of Ohio versus Chad Kendall.
Tuesday morning, 37-year-old Chad Kendall appeared in Summit County Court for a plea hearing. Kendall was first charged and indicted in August 2025, accused of sexually abusing 2 students who were 16 and 17 years old while he was a teacher at Archbishop Hoban High School in Akron. According to the Summit County prosecutor, from 2022 to 2025, Kendall groomed and engaged in an unlawful sexual relationship with a student before grooming a second, younger student. Prosecutor Elliot Kolkovich went on to write, throughout these relationships, Kendall threatened the students, claiming he would take his own life if they disclosed what was happening. When the victims recognized what had been done to them, they reported it to the school. Though Kendall previously pleaded not guilty, in this Tuesday hearing, Kendall accepted a plea deal, pleading guilty to 6 of the 10 felony sexual battery counts against him. Both the defense and prosecution agreeing on a recommended sentence of 8 years in prison.
And you will be found guilty. These will be entered on your criminal record and you will be sentenced. You understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
After Kendall entered his plea, the judge scheduled Kendall's official sentencing for May 19th. But while this criminal case is drawing nearer to a close, accusations are still circling around the incidents. In January, one of the victims, referred to as Jane Doe, filed a lawsuit against Kendall and Archbishop Hoban High School administrators. The suit argues, before, during, and after Kendall sexually assaulted Jane, Hoban was on notice that Kendall engaged in inappropriate behavior with female students. Hoban failed to intervene and protect its students, including Jane. The attorney representing Jane Doe in the civil case was in court this morning and spoke about what happens next.
We were glad to see Mr. Kendall take responsibility today, and we're going to keep working in the civil case to make sure that everyone involved is held responsible.
Today, the judge ordered Kendall to complete a psychosexual evaluation. She also informed him that once convicted, he will be forced to register as a Tier 3 sex offender. I reached out today to Archbishop Hoban High School. They did send me a statement. President Chris DeMauro writing, "The safety, security, and well-being of Hoban students are always our top priority." Hoban strongly denies the allegations against the school and its administrators contained in the lawsuit. Christy.
All right, Annabelle. Wow, thank you so much. A Fishers High School senior was arrested on 13 felony charges tied to child sex crimes. Investigators say 18-year-old Carson Springer recorded sexual activity with a juvenile. They say a search warrant for his phone uncovered hundreds of child sexual abuse images, along with messages requesting explicit material involving minors as young as 13. Springer was formally waived into adult court earlier this month, despite the crimes occurring when he was a juvenile.
Tonight, an Enterprise man suspected of having hundreds of illicit child pornography images, but no charges filed just yet.
Originally, police arresting the man on theft charges, but a search of his house allegedly revealing much worse. 42-year-old Joshua Garzarek was arrested Monday, but has already bonded out of jail. Enterprise police received a tip Garzarek possibly had child porn at his home. Officials searched his place on Myrtle Street and seized phones, hard drives, firearms, suppressors, body armor, and flashbangs. While Garzarek is out on bond, police say additional charges related to the investigation into child pornography are pending.
An East Texas man is facing up to life in prison after he was arrested for possession of child pornography. He is Jose Sanchez, who's currently sitting in the Polk County Jail. According to the sheriff's office, they executed a search warrant this morning at his home after they believed he was in possession of child pornography. Following a search of his home, Sanchez was arrested and charged with 5 counts of possession of child pornography. If convicted, Sanchez could potentially be sentenced up to 99 years in prison or receive a life sentence. The sheriff's office says additional charges may still be filed.
A man convicted of sex crimes involving children will spend the rest of his life behind bars. James Doss entered a blind plea to several counts of sodomy, production of child sexual abuse material, and sexual abuse of a child under 12. A Coleman County judge sentenced him to 325 consecutive years in prison.
More breaking news this morning. A man is arrested by the Florida Department of Law Enforcement accused of child porn charges. These images show agents taking Robert Carrion into custody. The investigation accuses him of downloading hundreds of files of child sexual abuse material. He is charged with 25 counts of possession.
Put down to Louisiana. A veteran Louisiana probation and parole officer was arrested Monday, the 23rd of March, on an allegation that he sexually abused a child. This is 45-year-old Benny Stevens. He was booked on account of sexual battery of a victim under the age of 13. The St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office said. Sheriff's Office spokesperson Lieutenant Suzanne Carboni said in a statement that the warrant was issued following an investigation by St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office detectives. Due to the nature of the offense and the age of the victim, no further details will be released about it. Tiffany Dickerson, spokesperson for the Louisiana Department of Public Safety and Corrections, confirmed that Stevens is employed as a state probation and parole officer. His online work history indicates that he's worked for the agency for about 23 years. Dickerson said that Stevens is currently on administrative leave pending further investigation. And of course, see you, Chomo.
A South Jersey community is voicing concerns after the shocking arrest of a local high school teacher and coach. Authorities say the 26-year-old is accused of having a sexual relationship with a student. Action News reporter Brianna Smith live in Summerdale with more on how the school district is responding. Brianna.
Well, Shari, police say the 26-year-old teacher and coach was arrested on Friday, and the schools district says that he was suspended and banned from school property. However, parents we spoke to say now they're worried about sending their children to school.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jason Howe.
This video posted on Sterling High School's website introduces 26-year-old Jason Howe as a chemistry teacher and coach in Summerdale. However, he's no longer inside a classroom, but instead behind bars for allegedly having a sexual relationship with a student.
Yeah, I was just really shocked. Honestly, just pretty sad.
The Camden County Prosecutor's Office says Howe was arrested on Friday. They say a student who was at least 16 years old reported having sexual intercourse with Howe at his apartment in Runnymede in March.
He was a great teacher. I liked him as a teacher.
Some students who learned from Howe are in disbelief. The prosecutor's office says he also coached cross-country, girls' spring track, and boys' basketball.
He also coached me for freshman year basketball, too, so I would have never expected him to do this, but it was shocking to me when I found out.
However, some parents say this isn't the first time there have been issues at the school.
I wasn't surprised. There is
like a culture around Sterling High School. I don't want to send my child back to school to feel uncomfortable.
The school district superintendent said in a statement they were shocked to learn about Howe's arrest and were unaware of the allegations. He went on to say, quote, "We will fully cooperate with law enforcement as we remain focused on supporting our students and ensuring a safe learning environment."
I'm hoping that they take this seriously and do actually look into things and make sure that, you know, the students feel safe.
Yeah, and the superintendent sent out an email to parents saying counselors will be available for students who need it. The prosecutor's office says anyone with information or allegations should report them. Live in Summerdale, Brianna Smith for Action News at 10 on PHL 17. Gray?
Okay, Brianna, thank you.
A Greene County man is heading to prison for 6 decades after a jury found him guilty of raping a child. Jamie Haney was convicted of 2 counts of rape and sentenced to 60 years behind bars. Prosecutors say the Arkansas Child Abuse Hotline flagged Haney back in August of 2025 after a child described the abuse during an interview with investigators. Deputy Prosecuting Attorney Adam Butler says the victim's courage made this conviction possible.
New tonight, a Gladstone man has been arrested on charges relating to child sexually abusive material. The Michigan State Police says 42-year-old Andrew Gagowski was arrested after an investigation initiated by the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children in the MSP Computer Crimes Unit Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force. Law enforcement learned that Gagowski may have accessed and shared illicit content online. Officers say they found digital evidence after searching his home. Gagowski was charged with 2 counts of aggravated child sexually abusive material, among other charges. Gagowski was arraigned in a court of Delta County today. The MSP Computer Crimes Unit encourages parents to speak to their children about using the internet safely.
Today, a Franklin County man who was on the FBI's most wanted list pled guilty to child sex trafficking in federal court in St. Louis. Police arrested Donald Fields last January during a traffic stop in Florida. The FBI was searching for him for 3 years. The survivor attended that hearing. She and federal agents say they hope that more survivors will come forward.
We're pushing for everyone to get justice with this. This is just what we're looking for.
The courageousness of the victim here is what led to this outcome, and without them stepping up and doing what they did, we wouldn't be here, and this guy could potentially still be out there victimizing people. So thank you for that.
Fields will be sentenced in July. He will face state charges.
A story we've been following today. The former mayor of Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, has been arrested right here in East Texas. Chad Carr, right there on your screen, is facing multiple charges, including 2 counts of felony sexual assault and felony charges involving filming a sex act with a child. Investigators say 3 more victims have come forward since his first arrest last month on similar charges. Carr resigned as Gettysburg mayor in March, just 2 months after taking office. He will be extradited to Pennsylvania to face those charges.
Scott, we understand ex-judge Kevin Christensen changed his plea today. Tell us about that.
Yeah, good evening, Bob. He did indeed do that, and was a bit of a surprise move. After pleading not guilty to 8 felony counts last summer, the former judge was allowed to plead to 3 third-degree felonies, one of which was enticing a minor over the internet. The other 2 were dealing in materials harmful to a child. Again, all of them third-degree felonies. Now, the former judge, who has been locked up in the Davis County Jail since his arrest last year, shuffling into court here in 2nd District Court in Ogden. He was in there in his jail jumpsuit with his attorney by his side. They then explained to Judge Catherine Conklin about the arrangement they had reached with prosecutors from the Utah Attorney General's office. It's a deal that essentially wipes out 5 of the counts, 2 of which were second-degree felonies.
Right, so I'm understanding we are going down from 5 second-degree felonies and 3 third-degree felonies to 3 third-degree felonies.
That's accurate, Your Honor.
State B. Christian.
Return for his plea of guilty.
Now, the former judge was arrested around the same time last year as the former fire chief of Tremont, Ned Hansen. Both men were alleged to have exchanged child pornography, while the 2 of them were allegedly engaged in a sexual relationship. Now, a lot of questions about, how this deal came about and why it happened today. Well, just before going on air, we got a statement from the Utah Attorney General's office which says the defendant pleaded guilty to 3 felony sex abuse crimes. On that basis, We amended the charges to better reflect the state of the evidence in the case. We are seeking prison time, and the defendant will be on the sex offender registry. The Office of the Utah Attorney General takes all crimes against children with the utmost seriousness and will continue to aggressively prosecute individuals who harm children. End quote. Now, the sentencing in this matter for the former judge, Mr. Christensen, that is going to happen here in Ogden on June 8th, and that'll be less than a week before he turns 66 years old. For now, we're live in Ogden. Scott McCain, Fox 13 News, Utah.
Over to Kentucky, a Pike County man was arrested after he was served an indictment warrant on a first-degree sodomy charge. This is Justin Damron of Mouthguard. He was indicted by a Pike County grand jury in February. The indictment says that Damron here committed the offense of first-degree sodomy when he engaged in deviant sexual contact with someone younger than the age of 12. The indictment claims it happened between July and December of 2024, and of course he was arrested by the Kentucky State Police troopers in Pendleton County earlier this month before being brought back to Pike County. He was booked into the Pike County Detention Center where he is being held on a $500,000 cash bond.
A Louisville man is in jail tonight after police say child sex abuse material was discovered on his computer. 20-year-old Matthew Davis is facing 20 charges for possession of that material. According to court documents, it was found by a friend after Davis lent the friend his computer. They called police. Investigators say Davis admitted to having the images and claimed to have tried to delete them. He's expected in court tomorrow.
A Londonderry man is now accused of having child sexual abuse images. 31-year-old Jonathan Hankins was arrested yesterday morning on 10 counts of possession of child sexual abuse images. The charges come after investigators searched his home last month. Hankins is set to be arraigned this afternoon.
A Lawrence County man is behind bars without bond for allegedly possessing dozens of pornographic images of children. Alan Powell is charged with nearly 50 counts of possession of child porn and 1 count of possession with intent to disseminate child sex abuse material. According to a criminal complaint obtained by WAFF 48, the more than 50 images in his possession were able to be accessed by others based on where they were stored.
We're getting more information about a Blount County church leader charged with child sex crimes. We've learned Donald Jeffrey Clark is the Director of Finance Systems and Compliance for Knox County. He's on administrative leave now, accused of sexually assaulting a teenage boy while serving as a youth deacon at a Blount County church. He's charged with sexual battery by an authority figure and continued sexual abuse of a child.
Tonight, an Indianapolis man is behind bars accused of child sex crimes just days after being confronted by an online predator catcher on the near northwest side. CBS 4's Jesse Wells explains how IMPD made that arrest and the concerns the case raised.
The investigation began on Saturday when police were called to this home by an online vigilante who confronted the suspect on camera. Police did not make an arrest at that time, but instead conducted an independent investigation which resulted in an arrest 4 days later. Standing on the front porch while streaming live on social media, an online vigilante confronted a man named Dylan Kruger.
He admitted in front of these officers that he had sexual contact with 2 underage kids.
During the viral video, Kruger confessed to sending explicit photos to someone he believed was underage, but the 32-year-old suspect wasn't arrested at that time.
We are not able to use any parts of his investigation because it's not legally defensible.
After the confrontation went viral, IMPD issued a statement that read in part, vigilante actions are not a substitute for law enforcement and can ultimately do more harm than good.
We cannot collaborate with a vigilante group.
The supervisor of IMPD's Internet Crimes Against Children unit says days after the confrontation at this home, IMPD spoke to Kruger again and he was arrested after allegedly confessing to police.
Yes, we were able to talk to that individual and he did confirm information which is in the probable cause affidavit that he did in fact possess child sexual abuse material which was found on his devices.
Online predator catcher groups have been controversial for years.
You're placing yourself in danger
and you're placing other people in danger.
As far back as 5 years ago this month, multiple prosecutors said the citizen stings put people at risk and could ultimately prevent cases from being successfully prosecuted.
This is potentially a very dangerous situation. You don't know how someone's going to react.
IMPD insists if predator catcher groups truly want their targets like Kruger punished, they need to send their tips to police and not confront the suspects themselves.
We want to protect our innocent children. We want to make sure that we're building that case properly.
Finally, Kruger was arrested on a preliminary charge of possession of child sexual abuse material. Formal charges by the prosecutor's office are still pending. Jesse Wells, CBS 4 News.
Indianapolis.
Mississippi. A woman is behind bars in Ocean Springs on child sex crime charges. 20-year-old Alexis George was arrested and charged with sexual battery of a child. This arrest stems from an ongoing investigation where a 15-year-old disclosed that she was sexually assaulted by George back in March. Due to the age of the victim, no other information is going to be released at this time. You can say that George is being held at the Jackson County Adult Detention Center on a $50,000 bond. And of course, this investigation is ongoing. See you, Chomat.
Also new tonight, a New Braunfels man will spend more than 3 decades in jail after he pleaded guilty to continuous sexual abuse of a child.
So this man, Louis Villagonza, pled guilty on March 16th and was sentenced to 32 years in prison, according to the Comal County Criminal District Attorney's Office. New Braunfels police opened an investigation after a mother found inappropriate messages on her 12-year-old social media account back on January 3rd, 2024, and then turned the phone over as evidence. Investigators say the abuse happened multiple times during overnight stays at a friend's home where Villagonza lived. Prosecutors say he later admitted to the abuse, and a search of his cell phone found messages with the victim that backed up those allegations. Villagonza will not be eligible for parole.
Cases of sex abuse involving kids and computer technology are now at the core of a bill being debated in Columbus.
And our WLWT News 5's Todd Dykes is live in Mason tonight, where police say a teenager, at least one, used AI to create pornographic images of his classmates. We've been telling you about this all week, and now we're seeing what lawmakers are trying to do to change this. Hi, Todd.
Hi, Sheree and Mike. Yeah, families here in Mason remain stunned by the criminal case announced this week. Police charged a teenager with more than 50 felony counts based on laws that are already on the books after they say they found AI-generated images of classmates on his devices. It's the kind of alleged crime that's at the heart of Senate Bill 163.
It is going to criminalize producing child exploitative images using AI.
That's what Rebecca Surendorf hopes will happen with her proposed bill that's currently in a Senate committee in Columbus.
I'm hoping that it's going to be a legislative priority.
Colerain Township Republican Lewis Blessing is a co-sponsor of the measure called SB 163.
Current laws against child sexual abuse material require an actual real photo of a child to be able to prosecute someone. With AI not being a real photo, this leads to issues of prosecuting someone generating these photos. Senate Bill 163 will give attorneys the ability to prosecute these people.
Today, Surendorf, co-founder of Ohioans for Child Protection, told me the Buckeye State is falling behind dozens of other states that now have laws making it a crime to create deepfake pornography. That's content created using artificial intelligence to superimpose a person's face or body onto pornographic material without the person's consent.
It would be good for Ohio to create in our state law to mirror basically language that exists in 45 other states.
For Surendorf and the grassroots group of parents and grandparents she's helped bring together, the need to act is now.
The CDC estimates that 1 in 4 girls will be sexually abused before age 18. There's a growing body of evidence that 1 in 6 kids are being exploited online. We can't combat this alone just as parents. We need a state that's behind us and protecting our kids.
Now, supporters of SB 163 say the goal is not to limit free speech or to put innocent people or people who exhibit awkward but not criminal behavior at risk. Whether those kinds of issues will end up being roadblocks to the bill's ultimate passage remains to be seen. We'll be keeping a close eye on it. For now, reporting live here in Mason, Todd Dykes, WWT News 5.
By the way, the current bill would also bolster identity fraud protections by targeting AI-generated likenesses created by these bad actors.
A man will spend the rest of his life in prison. 63-year-old Richard Vasquez was arrested last October for reports of sexual assault on a child. The El Paso County Sheriff's Office says he entered a plea earlier this week. The victim was under the age of 14. The judge in the case declared Vasquez a sexually violent predator, sentenced him to life in prison. He will be eligible for parole after 16 years.
A Birchwood man was sentenced to prison time after being charged in a child pornography case. 21-year-old Tyler Sprague was charged with 18 counts of possession of child pornography. According to the criminal complaint, authorities reviewed several Snapchat messages between Sprague and another person. Many of those messages were sexual in nature and discussed viewing child porn. Investigators later found numerous files of child pornography on his cell phone and laptop. He took a plea deal back in February, pleading guilty to 2 counts. The rest were dismissed. Yesterday in Barron County Court, Sprague was sentenced to 10 years in prison and 5 years of extended supervision. He must also register as a sex offender.
We have some breaking news out of Blount County. A jury convicting a man accused of sexually abusing and kidnapping a young girl.
The district attorney tells us the child is now getting the help that she needs, but we want to warn you, some of the details in our story is disturbing. Reggie Kyle explains that prosecutors tried to protect the young victim from having to come to court, but in the end they couldn't.
She is getting good counseling and working with a counselor. She is in a safe home, and we just continue to pray for her.
A Blount County jury found Johnny Chandler guilty on all 6 charges in the case involving his abduction of a 10-year-old girl in 2024. Some of those charges include rape, kidnapping, and sexual abuse of a child under 12. Blount County District Attorney Pamela Casey says she knows court is a traumatic experience for the victim.
It always breaks my heart to see a 12-year-old child have to get on the stand and relive and tell about the most traumatic experience of their life, in this case, the rape when they were 10 years old.
Casey says Chandler confessed to assaulting the victim at his home in the Smoke Rise area of Blount County. With a search warrant conducted on the home, Casey says investigators discovered concealed spaces inside for the child to hide. The DA showing us these pictures of the spaces.
I was not willing to give him a 10-year sentence or a 5-year sentence or even a 20-year sentence for these horrific acts. And so that meant trying the case to ensure that we would protect not only this victim, other victims, but also other children in our community.
That also includes the ones Casey says they discovered after Chandler's arrest.
We conducted additional interviews with individuals other than the victim in this case, and as a result of that, he was charged with human trafficking and providing explicit material to children.
Reggie Kyle reporting for us. Johnny Chandler now faces up to 99 years to life in prison and is expected to be sentenced in May 26th.
It's being called some of the worst child porn that prosecutor has ever seen, and the sex offender who shared it was just sentenced to 285 years behind bars.
And tonight we're learning how a task force ended up tracking down Robbie Ray Miller. WLWT News 5's Daisy Kershaw talking with the Kenton County prosecutor after today's sentencing. Hi, Daisy.
Sheree, Mike, police say the videos Robbie Ray Miller shared involved children younger than 12. The prosecutor says he did everything he could in court to make sure Miller would serve the maximum sentence.
Towards the end of 2024, Covington Police Detective Nikki Brown received a tip that a user of the Kik messaging platform was uploading videos depicting child sexual assault material to other Kik users into group chats.
That detective is on a task force for the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. She worked with the prosecutor's office to put Robbie Ray Miller behind bars.
He had in fact been the person responsible for all of these videos of CSAM, some of the worst CSAM that we've seen. There were 10 different videos depicting child sexual assault. Of those 10 videos, 9 of them the jury found were obviously under the age of 12 years old. These videos range in length from dozens of seconds to several minutes long.
The crimes happened in late 2024. Investigators traced the IP address to a Covington apartment. The owner said Miller had lived there. Neighbors told police he moved to Ohio, where police made the arrest.
After being booked into the Kenton County Detention Center, Mr. Miller made a call to his then girlfriend. He had talked about the fact that the police detective had seized his phone and said the only way they're going to get me is if they get my internet records.
Investigators already had. Miller is now sentenced to 285 years in prison.
Now, the jury obviously was very critical of Mr. Miller and his behavior. They spoke loud and clear that they take child sexual assault very seriously in Kenton County, and they were going to show him no mercy.
Per Kentucky state law, Miller will be eligible for parole in 20 years, but the prosecutor says they made a strong case, and he believes that Miller will spend the rest of his life behind bars. Reporting live tonight from the Kenton County Courthouse, Daisy Kershaw, WLWT News.
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. A Pennsylvania State Police corporal pleaded guilty Wednesday to using work computers to create AI-generated pornography, possessing child sexual abuse material, and secretly filming and photographing individuals, including his co-workers. This is Stephen Kamnick, 39-year-old. He pleaded guilty to 15 total charges, 9 felonies and 6 misdemeanors, according to the Attorney General Dave Sunday. According to investigators, Kamnick used state-owned computers at the Montgomery County Barracks to create some of the most pornographic material that they had ever seen. Kamnick secretly filmed numerous females he came into contact with, including a district judge. He used AI software to edit these videos and photos for apparent nude purposes. Kamnick pleaded guilty to the following charges: 4 felony counts of unlawful use of computer, sexual abuse of children, receiving stolen property, regards a firearm, by the way, a felony unlawful duplication, felony interception, disclosure, or use of wire, electronic, or oral communications, felony criminal trespass, felony misdemeanor count of invasion of privacy, official oppression, tampering with evidence, misapplication of entrusted property, and unlawful use of an audio or video device in court. He is suspended without pay and is scheduled to be sentenced July 8th.
Round Rock man was arrested in connection with a child sexual assault investigation involving 2 victims he allegedly assaulted when they were younger than 16. Round Rock police and the U.S. Marshals Lone Star Fugitive Task Force arrested 52-year-old Rodney Von Rhines on April 1st. Rhines is charged with aggravated sexual assault of a child and indecency with a child by sexual contact. Now, Rhines is accused of sexually assaulting one victim starting when she was 7 or 8 years old. The victim told her family, friends, and school staff when she was 10 years old, and she was interviewed by police. But after getting threats from an unknown phone number, she dropped the report. Well, last August, the victim told police about another alleged victim. In February, the victim told investigators Rhines repeatedly sexually assaulted her from the time she was 10 until she was 15 years old. Rhines is being held at the Williamson County Jail on a combined bond of $1 million.
Tonight, a man is behind bars after state police arrested him on child pornography charges. State police say 48-year-old James Barnard of Girard was arrested for possession and dissemination of child sexual abuse material. It says the investigation stemmed from a tip to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. ISP says special agents searched Barnard's home on April 1st and arrested him on scene. He's being held in the Macoupin County Jail as the investigation continues.
New details this morning. We're hearing from the Shasta County District Attorney who wants you to write in to stop the early release of this child sexual predator. He was sentenced to more than 50 years for sexually abusing children in Shasta County for decades. Robert Barber was convicted in 2000 of 32 counts of abusing young boys. Prosecutors say he spent years gaining the trust of the victims' parents and then abused the children. The crimes date back to the 1960s. When one of those boys spoke out, Barber fled in 1997. He was captured in Mexico after being featured on the show America's Most Wanted. Now the DA and the deputy district attorney who convicted Barber are working to prevent him from being released early under California's elder parole program. It's based on his age, not the seriousness of his crimes. Barber is now 86 years old. 6 of his victims testified at his trial.
Those kids did the hardest thing they could do. They've survived and continue to survive with the pain of what Barber did to them. They deserve better.
We believe that Barber remains a serious danger to our community, especially to children. You can help us protect the children in our community by writing letters to the California Board of Parole Hearings. Help us protect the children, especially the brave children that came forward and testified in this case.
The Shasta County District Attorney's Office is asking you in the community to write letters opposing Barber's release and send them into the DA's office by next Tuesday, April 14th. The hearing on Barber's release is on April 24th. We have the mailing address and the emails where you can send your letters. Just find this story on our website at actionnewsnow.com.
An Omaha Public Schools staff member is now charged with sex crimes against children.
Investigators arrested a 56-year-old Jeffrey Schaefer. It was Wednesday morning. And now OPS says he's on administrative leave.
KETV News Watch 7's Izzy Fonfara-Drewell was in court for his first appearance.
Jeffrey Schaefer was a school librarian here at McMillan Middle for the last 7 years. He made his first appearance in Douglas County this morning on charges of sex trafficking of a minor and possession of child pornography. Attorneys say the investigation started in July 2024, but police say Schaefer met the victim a year earlier.
He's 56 years old, and we allege that he's soliciting sex from a 16-year-old.
Court documents state the victim shared messages and photos with Omaha police.
The defendant and victim communicated via email, wherein the defendant was asked if she could meet with him to play in his van.
Schaefer's attorney says this victim could be connected to other cases. Douglas County Attorney Don Klein calls Schaefer's behavior worrying.
He has access to all kinds of children because they work in a school. So it's very concerning. It's very disturbing.
According to Klein, Schaefer could face anywhere from 20 years to life in prison.
We don't want this kind of behavior in our community, and so we're going to make sure that we do everything we can to hold him accountable and make sure that he can't hurt anybody else.
Schaefer's bond was set at $1 million, and the judge ordered no contact with children under the age of 19. Schaefer waived his preliminary hearing. He will make his next appearance in district court. A date has not yet been set for that, but we'll keep you updated here and online. In Omaha, Izzy Fonfara-Drewell, KETV News Watch 7.
Over to California, detectives with the Chico Police Department conducted an undercover operation aimed at identifying potential child predators. And of course, they compiled evidence from this operation documenting illicit conversations exchanged between an adult male and 2 victims that he believed to be 13-year-old females. During the text message exchanges, the suspect, 32-year-old Brandon Wheeler, used an alias to request explicit photos, send nude photos, and attempt to schedule in-person meetings with these 2 underage females. Then on April 8th, detectives conducted a traffic stop on Highway 70 at Cox Lane and arrested Wheeler on his felony warrant related to this case. During the arrest, Wheeler showed signs of being impaired, couldn't talk right, but he was under the influence of alcohol. Officers with the police traffic unit evaluated Wheeler, and they added a DUI. They took him into custody with no incident. Probably too drunk to even try. Brandon Wheeler of Majalia was booked into the Butte County Jail charged with child solicitation, contacting a minor with intent for sex, and attempted possession of obscene material of a minor, as well as that drunk driving. See you, drunk chomo.
Also new at noon, a 32-year-old man has been arrested on preliminary charges of possession of child sexual abuse material. This comes amid an investigation sparked by allegations from vigilantes. Now, those allegations say the vigilante was talking to the man disguised as a young girl and was led to believe the man had child sexual abuse material. Well, detectives led a consensual encounter with the man. He allowed them to search his cell phone. When police searched it, they found child sexual abuse material. He was arrested the next day. The man has not been formally charged, so we're not releasing a name at this point.
Staying in the Queen City now, a Stanton man has been arrested on multiple counts of sexual assault. According to SPD, James Cox III was arrested on Wednesday and charged with 2 counts of forcible sodomy, 1 count of rape, 5 counts of indecent liberties, and 2 counts of aggravated sexual battery. SPD says Cox was arrested with the assistance of the United States Marshal's Capital Area Fugitive Task Force. He is currently being held without bond at Middle River Regional Jail.
A Randolph County man is accused of spreading child sexual abuse material through messaging apps. Authorities say they started an investigation into John Kennedy from Sophia in November. He's been charged with 6 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Warrants say Kennedy used WhatsApp and Snapchat to distribute sexual content featuring juveniles. He is being held without bond.
And will spend more than 5 years in prison after admitting to possessing thousands of images of child pornography. 36-year-old Rye Tyler admitted to 1 count of receipt of child pornography and 1 count of possession of child pornography. That happened in U.S. District Court back in November of 2025. According to court documents, forensic examination of his electronic devices revealed more than 2,100 illicit images and videos. He was sentenced to 5.5 years in prison, plus another 5 years of supervised release.
Okay, over to San Antonio. Oh, where's he at? What is he? It's a pastor. There he is. This suspect here, Ryan Pina, was arrested for sexually assaulting multiple juvenile victims, and he's a pastor at a local church, the investigators believe. Yeah, they believe he's a pastor because they're all fake, right? Anyways, they're saying there could be more victims. Peter was an associate pastor at the Church of X on Crywald Road. That's all we really know about this guy. I wonder if we're fitting that chipper. Get in there. Get in there.
And also in your crime tracker, a registered sex offender from Shreveport is back behind bars accused of sending sexually explicit messages to a juvenile arranging to meet in person. According to the Attorney General's office, 70-year-old Royce Eugene Adams was arrested by Louisiana Bureau of Investigation after a tip from the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Agents say Adams used an online chat app to connect with the juvenile. He's charged with 1 count of indecent behavior with the juvenile and 1 count of computer-aided solicitation of a minor. Adams was booked in the Caddo Correctional Center, and this is an ongoing investigation.
And over in Crisp County, investigators arrested a Taylor County man charged with more than a dozen counts of sexual exploitation of children. Within the past 24 hours, the Crisp County Sheriff's Office told us deputies arrested 46-year-old Jeremy Evans in Perry on April the 1st. Evans was charged with 9 counts of aggravated child molestation, plus 12 other charges. If you have any information related to the case, the Crisp County Sheriff's Office asks you to reach out to them or the GBI.
A Waynesboro man is set to face prison time after being convicted of sexually assaulting a minor over 10 years ago. Dennis Lotz will face 4 years in prison after accepting a plea deal. In the deal, an original charge of sodomy was amended to aggravated assault. According to Waynesboro police, the victim had been assaulted when they were in a presentation discussing juvenile sexual assault warning signs. After his prison sentence is up, Lotz will have 5 years of probation and must register for the Virginia Sex Offender Registry.
Well, new this morning, a Warren County man is accused of sexually abusing a child over multiple years. Michael Vance of Indianola is charged with several counts of sexual abuse and sexual exploitation of a minor. Court documents show Vance abused the child between the ages of 5 and 14. Officials say he admitted to the abuse to a detective. He's set to appear in court later this month.
One for Rainbow, one for Amanda.
Who you playing with, sweetie?
Amanda.
Who are you?
I'm Amanda. I'm 6, and I love unicorns.
Sexual predators are seeking kids online.
We don't know Amanda.
Learn how to report abuse at end-violence.org/protect.
Broken clock on the back wall, counting down till the last bell rings. You lock the door with the plastic smile, say this is just our little secret thing. Ink stains on my test paper, your hand leaning where it shouldn't be. You twist the rules like a gold ring, say it's love, say it's meant to be. Leave the kids alone. Kids